For those that don't know, GfK is a large multinational corporation, consumer market research, $1 billion top line, 67 countries globally. And I'd like to say that we're kind of like the European or Nielsen. So we do a lot of different things. One of them is marketing effectiveness research, ad effectiveness research. And one thing that we're here at Shop Talk for is to promote that marketing research for the retail media networks.
Why do you think there's a need for that?
It's because people can't grade their own homework. The walled gardens are one of them that we've really leaned into, and making sure that people can have that independent measurement advisor that trusts the numbers, because Meta and Amazon and TikTok will say that they have the great return on ad spend, but it really helps to bring in an independent advisor for that measurement research.
And you're finding that there's an opportunity with retail media?
Yes, I mean, obviously it's a new but growing and exploding market. I think eMarketer said that 1 out of every $5 are going to be spent in retail media in 2024. So the money is going there, and there's a lot of efforts needing. There's a lot of important research that is supposed to be there for the marketer that wants to understand how their channel measures with other channels in their portfolio.
So do you feel like the retailers are sort of ready to embrace the notion of external measurement?
I think it's happening. I think marketing science is having a little bit of a resurgence because of mixed market modeling, because of econometrics, and because the signals are becoming harder and harder to find in digital. So we're going back to real marketing science. And I think that retail media networks are also going to be in this cadre of folks that are needing that independent research. Yeah, I think it's going to be a learning curve. I think those folks are very far away from the folks that are experts today, the people that are hands-on keyboards and the people that are operators, and then the science folks and the research folks. Frankly, GfK and others are chock full of science folks, and we have the data, right? So you need the expertise and you need the data. And some people have the data, but not the expertise. Some people have expertise, but maybe not all the data firsthand, like maybe some agencies. And so we're going back to companies like GfK, like Kantar, like Ipsos, like Nielsen. They have the data in-house, so they have the experts in-house. And that's what I think is going to need to move it forward for marketers that need that independent measurement research.
So what are some interesting insights that you've seen relative to kind of consumer behavior that might be interesting to understand as it relates to retail media?
Yeah, I think we found out in our research that people think of performance, but it actually helps top of funnel stuff too, branding, and because of the econometric models and the resurgence of marketing science, we're getting back to measuring branding. So things like, we measure branding by the price elasticity change over time. So that's a very interesting yet kind of hard thing to measure, but leave it up to the marketing science folks at companies like GfK to do that. And then if you apply those models to retail media networks, to walled gardens, you can get apples to apples comparison of your entire budget.
I personally love that. I certainly believe that the retail media networks are interested in moving sort of up the, there isn't really a funnel, the purchase life cycle for consumers, and to be able to attract some of those more upper funnel, if you will, dollars. So price elasticity, that's a super interesting one. What are some other interesting things that you're seeing? Yeah,
we're finding that, amongst one of my largest clients in retail media, Amazon, really leaning into geotests. So I don't know if you're aware of geotests, but it's a relatively straightforward methodology that takes sales data and attributes offline sales data, attributes it to online ad exposure. But it can only be done for folks that have that offline data at a store level, at a geographic level. So geotesting for offline sales data is really popular. Then you go up one more level to the aggregate campaign data. So that's like mixed market modeling. And then finally you have PII, which requires clean rooms more often. And so GfK works in all those three levels. And I think those three levels are necessary for the toolkit of the marketer. What I've seen since I've worked in advanced TV in my background, the streaming TV and CTV macro trends that are pushing that particular part of the market are also pushing retail media networks, because you have that increased need for attribution, you have the increased privacy concerns, you have also, the aspect of fraud. All those things that people are getting pushed at for CTV are also being marketers are being pushed to retail media networks. One example of this is the eyeballs. So people are wanting deduplicated reach from linear TV. So they're going to CTV. This is also why folks are going to retail media networks, because you think it's hard to reach someone that hasn't watched linear TV. Well, some folks aren't even watching streaming TV, but they're definitely going in stores.